Recording. Right. Today begins our first lesson in art, and we are looking at, let's see. Right. We're looking at collage making, the coat of arms. All right. When we speak about collage making, we talk about using materials, namely, we are using paper to make our image. Right. Our coat of arms used to look like this. This is what it was look like. It looked like colonialism. If you look at it, you will see parts of our past, right? You will also see symbols that will reflect in the present coat of arms. All right, so look at it carefully and you would see. Probably you're seeing the ship, you're seeing the mountains, you're seeing the water, you're seeing the shield, you're seeing the ribbon. Right. So proudly, as we wear our red, white, and black, we are proud whenever we see this. We find this on our currency. We find this on important documents like our birth certificate, any sort of, well, COVID, we saw the reports. Once we saw this, we knew that it was valid. So this symbol tells us it is authentic. Now, before we start doing this, we need to know a little history about it. How did it come into being? All right. These two men, chosen by a committee, were responsible for the creation of our coat of arms. We have Carla Chang and George Bailey. If you look at them, they are quite different in age, but the respect of each other, they were able to work together. They were both artists, but very unique in their own like. When we speak about Carla Chang, he is known mainly as an artist, but that did not define him. He was a painter, a sculptor, a designer of theater arts, costumes, photographer. He did ceramics, interior design. He owned a gallery, like a Gallery 101 gallery in Port of Spain. I can't remember the correct name today and now. And my favorite, he's a teacher. He was a teacher. One of his most famous pieces was The Inherent Nobility of Man. This was placed in the first airport in Piaco. It depicts our ancestors, the Amerindians, and their lifestyle, how they lived. They lived in harmony with nature. They understood what nature required and did everything in reverence for her. However, in the transportation and the movement of this painting to the present airport, it got destroyed. However, he's a sculptor as well. And if you go outside City Hall under the steps, you will be able to see this sculpture. All right, the Conquirabera outside City Hall. Again, it reflects our Amerindians. It has a story. You can see another one, which is on your way to Hyatt on Independence Square, Tattle Building. This was a sculpture done by Carla Chan. Now, when asked to work on the coat of arms, this is what he came up with, his drawing. So you see, there are always humble beginnings. And from there, through collaboration, you could improve. And there is George Bailey, renowned massman. He was a massman, a 6-time band winner. He was a well-known drawer, painter, sculptor, an outstanding athlete, and he won the Hummingbird Medal, silver, in 1969. Now, unlike Carla Chang was not really, he says he wasn't very bright in what he did. He did everything through experience. George Bailey a lot of his work and training, his formative training, came from his dad. His dad was also a well-known massman, and he inherited that ability. And also, he was very good at it. So these two men, oh, this is George Bailey's work. When we speak about our carnival is dying, and we speak about George Bailey's work, this is what we're talking about. This is our culture. This is the use of papier-mâché. This is creativity. This is our story, Trinidadian story. And this is what is desperately needed. Unique. It is unique. This is what makes us Trinidadian. When you have time, I want you to remember George Bailey. Go and see what he was like. And there's this YouTube video, and you could learn a little bit about him. And what's nice about learning about our past, it creates the future. Who knows? You could be the next person to do something unique. Now, George Bailey and Carly Chang would not tell you they had this in the back of their heads. But I believe nothing is done by chance. There's always something that prepares you for something, probably how you were, how you are, right? So there's a helmet. Why did they choose a helmet? The helmet is put on for salvation, believing that Christ rose and died for us. He died and he rose again for our salvation and our shield of faith, the faith that God will keep his promises, especially in times like these. We must practice faith. Bearing that, we have our coat of arms. Let me get it a little bigger for you. Right. If you look at a coat of arms, right, to begin with, there's an invisible square around it. All right? There's an invisible square, and also everything is symmetrical. Right? We'll get into that just now. Now, when we're doing the coat of arms, preferably portrait is the way we should go. All right? Remember, I was telling you about symmetry. We are looking at shapes with one line of symmetry. Symmetry means one half is exactly like the other half. All right? So, I took my piece of paper and I folded it in half. I forgot most important thing. Let me go back to this now. So, I have my paper on portrait, and let me stop sharing and get to the bigger screen for you. 1 minute. Right. The first thing, so we have it on portrait, you need to draw your line. We are making a square of 20 centimeters. So you start from here to here and you draw a line. Now, to make a square has 4 right angles. Some of you may have in your possession a set square. Some of you will say, well, Miss, I don't have that. You could make that. You take a normal piece of paper, fold it exactly in half, and here it is. You have your set square. Okay? It's a triangle with a right angle. So you place your right angle here on the line first drawn, and you draw down, and then you measure 20 centimeters. You measure down 20 centimeters. When you come to this point here, right, you put your right angle triangle again here. And then once you put the right angle, you measure again 20. You put the right angle again this way and you measure. It's very important that you get a square. So the square is 20 centimeters. I want to make my shield 10 centimeters. So I take my paper, fold it in half, right? I measure down 10 centimeters and 5 centimeters across and draw a curve on my fold line. So 10 centimeters across, 5 centimeters across, and on the curve. Oh my goodness. Where's my sheet? So I'm going to get something looking like this. Now, let's look back again at the image. Let me see if I'm there. Screen share. Right. So we are looking at, there is, let's look at the bigger one. There's a line of symmetry here. We have the black and we have the red fitting into it. Right? Good. We are going to do the same thing now for the red, making sure now I did not have red. I had orange red. So I painted it, right? I folded it in half, same way, and I wanted it to fit on this black. So I folded it in half like this, rested down here, right? See how I can get the red to fit into it, and then I cut it out. Then I stuck this, and I did my white part too. It just came out here with the folding. Next, if we look carefully here, you will see the hummingbirds, and they are the same. Let me get bigger again. The hummingbirds, they are the same, right? So remember, when we are doing the hummingbird or any bird, it has a wrong head and it has a body. So I'm taking this now. I'm folded in half because it's two hummingbirds. Let's get back to again. And the two hummingbirds are the same. So if I fold my paper in half, I draw it here and I cut it, I will get two hummingbirds. As I continue, I need to do 3 ships. The ships that Christopher Columbus sailed. Oh, the story of the hummingbirds. So the hummingbirds, our ancestors, the Amerindians, remember they said that Trinidad, they called it the land of the hummingbird. The Amerindian word for that is Airi, right? And there are 18 species of hummingbird in Trinidad. 18 species. So one day sit back, look, and you will see. Also, there are 3 ships, and look at it, it is symmetrical. What I suggest you do, you fold your paper into 3, draw one out, and cut it, and you will get 3 the exact size. We are looking again at my line of symmetry down in half, and you do it part by part, okay? First, I would begin with the feathers, and the feathers take the shape of a W. Can you see it? Right? So I fold my paper in half, and I cut out. So I'll get the 2. The helmet, again, there's a line of symmetry here, giving me 2 exact bars here. Then I have the wreath, line of symmetry here. There is the coconut tree. The scarlet ibis and the coquelicot are also symmetrical, and notice too, they are the same size. Let's look at something. Remember in 2nd year infants, we did this, where we make first the number 2, and then we put the head. It's the same principle when you're doing this. Fold it in half though. The only difference is their colors are different. And notice too, they were very direct in what it is they were doing. The scarlet ibis is found in Trinidad. The 3 mountains is what Christopher Columbus first saw when he came here, and he saw Trinidad. So the scarlet ibis is on your left, and on your right is the coquelicot, the main ridge of Tobago. Then we have our waters. Okay? Let me encourage you also to go to this website. Here you would see, did I keep it up? No, I didn't. All right. So here you would see our PDF on the coat of arms, which I found was so interesting. Girls, don't be afraid to read. Don't be afraid of knowledge, because one day you might become a designer. Don't limit yourself to one thing. These men did not do that. They didn't just limit themselves to being an artist. They were that and more. Push yourself to more. So one thing, when you read about it, you will see that the coat of arms, you can't just place it on a pattern. It must be on a blank background. Neither could you draw over the coat of arms. Neither can you take the coat of arms and get it out of scale. It must fit within a square. All right? Also, you need to observe symmetry. Another thing, standard 4s and 5s, when you learn your work, don't learn your work in isolation. I want you to see that everything is connected. So today we did social studies. In social studies, we did history on the coat of arms. In the history, we did maths, we did area, and we did symmetry. So your work is not in isolation. And also, you did your art in recreation. You also did a little bit of scripture. Always remember, when things get tough, say, I can do all things with Christ who strengthens me. And he will give you the strength you need. All right, girls. So safe practices are in order again. Where's my mask? Right. Remember, whenever you use hand sanitizer, wash your hands with soap and water because it is flammable. When you're going out, wear your mask. Make sure your mask is covering your nose and your mouth. Right? Oh, it's upside down. Adios.